Hey, welcome back everybody. Thank you again for joining me for yet another special review. This week we are finishing off the WWE Masters of the Universe review video. So in the first two videos we made, first one we looked at series 1 through 3. Second video we looked at series 4 through 6. And here we're going to look at series or wave 7 and 8. Now 7 came out in 2021, and I believe that was the third release in the year 2021. And Series 8, a 2022 release, and the last of the waves. Series 7, to me, honestly, guys, is easily the one I'm most excited about. Now, for starters, I actually have all 4 figures on card here, so I'll actually have something to show you guys, which will be a lot of fun to look over. But also, all 4 figures in this line are absolute must-haves. The characters I love. They got the name recognition. Their figures are absolutely amazing. And at the time that I got them, I don't think I even paid a fortune for them, which is awesome. Like I said, the only reason I haven't completed this whole collection is because the prices on individual pieces, even loose pieces, are just astronomically too high. A lot more than what I value them. So, will I complete this collection in the future? I'm sure I will. When? It could be this year. It could be 10 years from now. It won't be 10 years from now. I'm going to try my best to probably get it done this year. Will I do another review video when I bring in those new pieces? Probably not. If I do review these figures again, it'll probably be next year or after some time has passed at least. So, let's dive into the first figure released. And Series 7, again, just like every other video, we're going to go in order as they are displayed on the back of the card. One of the greatest wrestlers in professional sports is Bret the Hitman Hart. And what I love about this figure, he's kind of got like this futuristic look to it. It's kind of like a virtual reality type of appearance. And I've talked about in the last video where at some point I'm probably going to have to start buying these comics that come behind the figures, because as a mint on card collector, I will never take these out of the package. I put them in these beautiful protective cases. I haven't mentioned it. I probably should. I love to give shout outs to people I buy from. Bernie's Galaxy on eBay sells these protectors. They work beautiful for both Mattel WWE Motu as well as Mattel Superstars. So every time you see these cases, Bernie's Galaxy is where I get them from, off of eBay. So Bret Hart, again, we already know the top 3 with Hogan, Warrior, and Savage. Those guys will always be my top 3 regardless. No one will ever surpass them. The middle group with Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, and The Undertaker have a very formidable top 6. I talked about Roddy Piper in the last video being a top 10 favorite wrestler, and it really got me thinking, like, who are my top 10 favorite wrestlers of all time? That would be interesting, man, to be honest, because I don't know. I guess from what I can actually remember, probably around 1990 to about 97, 98. So it's not like I had 2 decades or 3 decades worth of wrestling watching. So I really have about a decade at most to actually look back and see who I really enjoyed. Bret Hart, though, like I said, to me, this one is an absolute must-have. You don't have to be a Bret Hart fan. You don't have to be a collector of the Motu figures. I just feel like this is one of those figures that if you are a toy collector or a wrestling fan collector, wrestling toy collector, this is something you should have as part of your collection. A very integral piece. This one and the next guy we're going to look at, I think 2 are absolute must-haves. So, Bret Hart, it looks like the only thing that really changes with this figure is that his sunglasses are removable. One of the dreams, I guess, me and my brother used to have was actually going to a wrestling match and, sitting in the front row to catch Bret Hart, so that right before he starts his match, he takes off his sunglasses and puts it on one of the young kids. I just thought that was so awesome. One of my oldest memories as far as commercials is Bret Hart walking down this tunnel, and then this young fan, screams out his name. Bret Hart turns around, walks back up the tunnel to the kid, And, you know, kid tells him, go get him, champ. You know, Brett smirks, takes off the glasses, puts it on him. I'm like, that's awesome. It's like the Coca-Cola commercial where like all the trucks are driving along the road and you see the two bears on the side watching this big convoy of trucks and the Coca-Cola sign. In the back, you got Santa Claus kind of smiling, drinking a Coke. All the lights lit up. You know, some of my favorite commercials, right? I don't know. Would that be more of a promo than a commercial, though? With the one with Brightheart? I don't know. But this is a very solid piece. And again, like I said, guys, probably one of my most recommended figures, especially for this particular line. They did a lot of things really well. There's some things that I didn't really like. You know, the Stephanie McMahon figure is okay, but nothing flashy as a perfect example. But you look at that figure, and you look at Andre the freaking Giant, man. Unbelievable. I talked about the Ultimate Warrior from Series 6 in the last video having a lot of weight to him. Not because he was a heavy-set man, but because he was extra muscular, and, you know, obviously muscles, you know, way more than fat. So it was an extra heavier figure compared to other packages that you held. Now, when you have Andre the Giant, who's already well known to be like 525 to 540 pounds or so, it is nice that they give you that extra weight differentiation compared to other figures. I mean, imagine having like Becky Lynch or Stephanie McMahon have the same weight as Andre the Giant. It wouldn't make no sense. You know, yeah, you're going to have to pretend, but, you know, sometimes you don't want to have to pretend, right? Also, think about it this way. If you wanted to pretend, then why not just make them the same size as these other figures? Why do you always make them super small just because they're female wrestlers? I hate that. It's like a Barbie type of look to it, and it just kind of makes the figures worthless in that sense. But Andre the Giant has an absolutely amazing figure. Great weight to the figure, which you already know I love the heavier figures. His gladiator type look is absolutely amazing, and it's pretty awesome. It looks like he has a hand in his boot. Now, it's probably where his foot comes apart, but like where the bone and I don't know. See, to me, it kind of looks like two fingers pointing down, and then his like thumb is like kind of dangling in the backside. So when I looked at it, it kind of looks like a hand to me. But he could be like a zombie type character, and you know that's just his body parts coming loose. Either way, that is spectacular. I mean, this little Tarzan gladiator type look, beautiful. I love the little crest on his vest, on his shield there. Beautiful Andre the Giant look. Short-haired Andre. Think circa LJN Series 2. Gorgeous piece. You give him extra muscles on here. Andre the Giant will always be valuable. If you... I don't know if I bought this. I think I got this on Walmart.com as well. I don't think I got it from Mattel or Mattel Creations or anything like that. But so I think that these may have been Walmart exclusives. I could be wrong. Again, I think that's where I got them from. But correct me if I'm wrong, if you guys know, because I'm not sure. But look at his little graphic art on the top of the package. Yeah, just kind of going through figure after figure. I think that's what I'm going to have to do. At some point, when I get back into collecting the rest of the figures that I'm missing on card, I'm also going to have to collect the loose figures. And I think I'm going to have to try and search for people selling just the comic books. Now, obviously, if they sell the comic books with the loose figure, that would be fantastic. But kind of like what I did with the... LJN posters, you know, I went online and started searching for individual LJN posters and basically acquired every single one. I'm going to probably have to do that with the comic books because I really want to read those to see what's up, you know, what the story is all about. Yeah, I'm wondering if I'd have to read them in order of the series release or whatnot. I mean, that would definitely make things easier, I guess. But I'm wondering if it's like one contingent storyline or if it's like each individual storyline, each book is its own unique based on that particular character. I don't know because I've never opened up these packages. But Andre the Giant, gorgeous piece. Love this one. Absolute must-have. And the line continues to be extremely strong with these next two releases. Are they must-haves for this line? Or, for these line of figures? Yes. Are they... If you don't have this line or you're not collecting this line, are they pieces that you absolutely have to get? Probably not, but I still enjoy them nonetheless. I mean, Junkyard Dog. One of the more simpler figures, but he's got name recognition. He's a very coveted wrestler in both, Memphis territories as well as, early stages of WWF. And, Junkyard Dog is a sad story. I actually heard... interviews, and I think it was The Dark Side of the Ring, when they talk about Junkyard Dog and, his drug problems and whatnot, and I think he died in, the latter half of the 1990s, 98, 99, I think, and he got into a car accident on his way to his daughter's high school graduation. I'm like, that is no way for a legend to go out. Very disappointed to hear that. And having his daughter not being able to enjoy her special day after hearing of the loss of her father, I mean, I'm not a parent, so I'm like, I don't, for me personally, if I'm a parent, I heard my spouse died, and my child is graduating and is happy with her accomplishments, do I tell her her father died, or her mother died, or what have you? Even if Junkyard Dog and his wife weren't together, right? Does she tell her at that time, or does she hold off until maybe another day? That's tough. I know if I was a kid and it was my high school graduation and my parent died, yeah, I'd want to know immediately, but it's really a toss-up. The figure itself, I think, is relatively simple. I mean, not too flashy. He does have, I don't know what this lasso is that he's got back here, but that thing is pretty awesome. So far, looking at the different types of accessories, Ricky Steamboat with the big dragon, I think is one of my favorites. But this one looks pretty spectacular. I like that one a lot. And Junkyard Dog, take a look at his artwork. And then one last look at the figure. Absolutely amazing piece. Like I said, this entire set here in Series 7, no brainer. Easily the best 4 figures of any series. No other series even comes close to this one. The last pickup, again, a very important pickup based on name recognition and his history in wrestling and his history in promotions of other famous cartoons. Who am I talking about? The Sarge. Sergeant Slaughter is a man I know I grew up watching. And when I say I knew, because you would think with me watching wrestling in the 1990, 91 era, at a time when the Gulf War was going on, and Sergeant Slaughter was this beloved American hero type of deal. And, guys like Sergeant Slaughter, Corporal Kirchner, Jim Duggan, Hulk Hogan, they're all supposed to be American first, American made, superhero type of deal. And then kind of turning him into a bad guy, falling under General Adnan, who was Al Cassie in AWA, and of course the Iron Sheik, Colonel Mustafa, so as his tag team partner. The whole turncoat storyline, I don't know if that was necessarily the right decision. And then later on, all is forgiven. He's back to being American Sergeant Slaughter and, hero again. It's like Lex Luger, right? He's the narcissist Lex Luger that everybody's booing. And then all of a sudden he comes in, American shirt on, body slams Yokozuna, and all of a sudden he's a big hero and everybody loves him. Storyline-wise, I don't know. I think some people absolutely love that storyline. I think it was brilliant for the time. And I think other people just like to have what I'm saying is that it wasn't the greatest idea to turn one of your real legends evil or whatnot. Who was it? I think Ricky Steamboat is one of those guys. Maybe Tito Santana. I don't know. But I think Ricky Steamboat was definitely one of those guys. So there's very few guys in wrestling history who were baby faces their entire career, and I think that's pretty amazing. Sergeant Slaughter to me should have been that guy always. But shoot, even as like the Sarge, American hero waving the American flag, I still feel like he was a bad guy in my eyes. I never looked at him as a good guy. So that was kind of weird. Not until like later on in the, early 1990s, post Gulf War, when he turned back to the good side type of deal. Sergeant Slaughter, he is getting up there in age, and if I had the opportunity to meet 5 wrestlers in my life, I think Sergeant Slaughter would be one of those guys that'd be on my bucket list. Absolutely one of my favorites. I don't know if I put him on my top 10 favorite list of favorite wrestlers all time, but he is definitely a top 5 guy who I want to meet, shake his hand, thank him, get an autograph, take a photo, whatever it takes. His figure it's pretty amazing. I mean, nice bulky figure. They kind of stick with the Army color scheme, which is fantastic, and nice that they don't change that out. So, what stands out? I'm wondering if his hat is removable. I would assume that it is. So his weapon is like some kind of like billy club or something. So it looks like a scepter or whatnot. I would assume that his vest probably comes apart. Like I said, I wish I had doubles of these figures so that I could actually show the loose figure. But I think for now, just knocking out the carded figures should be sufficient, hopefully, for a lot of guys. And Rey Mysterio and Sergeant Slaughter graphic art, that's awesome. I like that a lot. I'm wondering if I got to go back and watch the 1980s He-Man show just to kind of get an idea of what a lot of these characters were based off of. Because I'm sure they're not just unique ideas, that they've got to be based on someone, right? Like the Monster Collection. Roman Reigns as the werewolf, or I think Chris Jericho, if I'm not mistaken, was the Mummy. It's based on Universal monsters of the 1920s and 30s. So I would assume that these characters were all based on He-Man characters as well. Alright, so the last figure, again, the last series, or last wave, was Wave 8, released in 2022, and I only have one figure. So this wave consisted of China, the second Rey Mysterio, and I think that's the second one, yep, second Rey Mysterio, and Steve Austin. So this one only had 3 figures. And as you see, I do have Steve Austin. Again, he's kind of like a cyborg character, pretty solid. I kind of look at this, I think about like, T-1000 or something from Terminator 2. It kills me to think that the same guy that played that, new Terminator in T2 and T2 Judgment Day was the same guy that replaced David Duchovny on X-Files. And what was his name? Robert Patrick? Is that it? Fun actor nonetheless. I think Robert Patrick was actually in the TV show The Unit. So, The Unit. Awesome military show. If you haven't watched it, definitely check that out, because it only had 4 seasons and one of the greatest shows ever. Just kind of a random thought that popped up. So when I look at Steve Austin, I just think of him as like another Goldberg. To me, they got the exact look, facial hair, bald head. I at first glance, I would think Goldberg. I wouldn't think Steve Austin, right? And I kind of feel like they kind of separate the bodies for like Mattel Retros as an example, because they look so similar. That's why you give Goldberg that stupid jumper, and you give, Steve Austin the clothesline. They should give them both that same pose. But I guess they got different jump because of the similar looks. So it looks like Steve Austin has his mask can be removed from his face, as well as the little hook hand. So he is another Candyman for me. Or possibly the killer from I Know What You Did Last Summer. I don't think Steve Austin has ever been that ripped. So it's nice that they make him a little bit more buff than probably what he was. Steve Austin was a fun actor as well. He's been in a couple different movies that I really enjoyed. So Steve Austin, Rock, John Cena, I think I enjoy them more as actors than I do as wrestlers. But if I ever met them in person, of course I would thank them for, you know, their contributions into the wrestling world and whatnot. So since I didn't show the back a lot. So that is what Rey Mysterio and China would look like. I thought I had those figures, especially China, but I don't know. It's not with the rest of the figures, so I'm guessing not. So, let's see. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 30. So not 32 figures, 31 figures were part of this series, or part of this overall line. 3 years, 31 series, or 31 figures, of which I had 5, 9, 13. So I had 18 out of 31 figures. Again, those other 13, I plan on picking them up sometime in the future. When, I don't know. Currently, I'm not going to be actively bidding on any. But again, if they're selling for $20, $30 plus per figure, I just don't value them that high. So now, if it's a figure for like $20 with free shipping, that might alter something. But like, if you're looking at a purchase of like $27 with like $10 shipping, or $13 purchase price with $13 shipping, because yes, people do that. And they do that because they know their items aren't going to sell for as much as they want, so they try to recoup their money from shipping costs. I hate that. I think I put relatively high shipping costs, but that's just but mine is like $9 or something. And depending on the weight, it might actually go over $9. So, and you know, if somebody buys something, purchases 3 items from me, that's like $9 each. You know, I don't charge them $27 shipping, or reduce it down to like $20 shipping. No, I'd probably still sell it to them for like $9, maybe $10.50, just because I want to make sure that I get enough money to cover that shipping cost. So I always get like these massive shipping costs, and it's like, yeah, you want to pay it because you won the item at a purchase price for a relatively good price, but the shipping. But that's an event for another story. event for another. You know what? I do want to do another what happened to eBay type of video. Did I make any this year? So far, I don't think so. I think I only made a couple of them in 2023. So I think that might be a new series at some point. Or not a new series, but a continuation. It probably won't be what happened to eBay. It'll probably be just, you know, what's up with eBay type of deal or something. Alright guys, I'm going to stop the video here. That does complete the last of the figures I have. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the videos, and if you have any recommendations of figures that I might have on hand, I would love to make those videos for you guys. Thanks so much for watching. I will see you later. Goodbye everybody.